Nigeria is faced with challenges on different fronts, from worsening insecurity to nauseating poverty and economic instability. Now, governments at all levels are struggling to bring in some form of sanity in these areas, but so far not much has been achieved, hence the call for everyone to join hands and partner with the government for nation building. Now, this call has also been extended to Nigerians in the diaspora. Every year, Nigerians abroad sending billions of naira into the country with the right partnership. These funds can be used for building much-needed infrastructure, boost education and healthcare, as well as startups, new business to boost economic growth. Well, joining me is the President, Hen Foundation, Jamil Eniola, to talk about this. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Now, when we look at the diaspora, especially with the remittances that are coming, a lot of persons saying that the diaspora should not be considered as sources of financing alone, but as development partners with what we see them do or contribute to the society. And looking at reports in 2018, about $25 billion was said to have been remitted from the diaspora or by diasporans. And we see the myriad of challenges that Nigeria is faced with. See insecurity, talk about healthcare, talk about education. It's a lot. And I'm wondering, let's begin with security, for instance. We saw what happened yesterday at the NDA Nigeria Defense Academy. And we're looking, if we talk about collaboration, if we talk about ensuring we see contribution from the diaspora with regards to insecurity, what should it look like, basically?
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I think the Nigerians in the diaspora, they have a big role to play on the area of us, getting our country to be secure. But sadly, I've never seen any government take the advantage of that, because if you look at it very well, whether in the UK, in US, or some other parts of the European country, you always find a Nigerian, an expertise, whether working with the Scotland Yard or working with the MI5 and so on, or FBI and the rest, and making those countries safe and secure. And, but why do you have all these insecurity problems in Nigeria? The spokesman for the NDA said that, it has to do with the breach of security. Yeah. And in a volatile environment like this, how could someone have the audacity to allow, such breach of that somewhere that's supposed to be like a secure environment? So it also shows that there's a lot of things that is not working fine, and I believe it's the high time now that the Nigerian government should also take an advantage of reaching out to the Nigerians in the diaspora. I'm talking about the expertise that specialize on the areas of security. I've seen many of my colleagues and friends that have come down to Nigeria to come and retrain the Nigerian police. They have some security outfit in the United Kingdom, and they come around to come and retrain them and how to be able to do protection, defense, and how to use less of the lethal weapon and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, they get frustrated because the government is not creating the conducive environment for them, and they are not also appreciate the effort they are putting in place, because, so which make it more difficult, because there is one thing for the Nigerians in the diaspora that are ready to help the situation, and there's another thing for your own country to ready to accept that, and then to ready to provide a conducive environment to allow these things to happen. So because the cooperation has to come from the both sides.
Absolutely.
So because people that need to get the retraining, people that we need to rechange our orientation, because the first and foremost, if the country is not secure, there's no way you can be able to convince an international to come and invest here, to come and set up the... So the first and foremost is that your country has to be... And I believe that the diaspora can play a major role, but they can only play a major role when the government doesn't see them as a piggy bank only for the money remittance, but to look at some other area, the area of development and the area they can be able to, play a meaningful role in this area of this insecurity in the country.
You are one of those diasporans who believe in the Project Nigeria, such that you have a foundation here as well. Talk to us about, perhaps, because your focus is education, how challenging, how you were able to perhaps get the buy-in of some stakeholders in the country to support that which you are trying to do in Nigeria.
Yeah, it's very difficult, to be honest. I have to be realistic with you, because because yes, we produce a lot of graduates, but the problem is that, sometimes it's going to look somehow when you say graduate and say that, oh, I've been looking for a job and the rest. But when you try to intervene or asking some certain questions, you realize that there is still a lot of things still missing, So, but, for me, coming all the way from United Kingdom to now come up with that, we need to change our level of the education so that we can create people that have this innovation, that are being passionate of what they are doing, having more of this entrepreneurial skill, even while they are in schools, okay? Not only just for them to study 9 to 5 or go to the classroom too, but they can come up with an idea that can be able to inspire them. So, but to get the stakeholder, for example, the schools, whether the state government or whether the federal government, to be able to key into that idea that, okay, we can come up with some certain tools that can help our boys and girls, whether in polytechnic, university, or even in the secondary schools. So you don't get a response, and because for example, now our own focus is more of the public school, because the last percentage of Nigeria are in public school. Right. Okay. So, which means that, and that is the bedrock of the problem. But there is no encouragement or support. What are the kind of the encouragement is that for them to create that environment so that at least we can be able to come and then offer these students some certain skill on some because the leadership is the problem in this country, and then we have to bring that leadership into our school, because those graduates, they are the ones that will be in the society that will be thinking that, oh, they are not being productive or they don't have some certain XYZ skill. But when we can do what we call giving them that skill, that knowledge at the early stage, so it's going to be more easier after their graduation when they are in the society. So it's not only that they have the BSc or the MSc or the HND, but they also have some certain skill too that in the real world then they can be able to perform. And that's exactly what is going on in the Western world, where not only for you to get the qualification, but you also have some other certain potential that can build you as a leadership of thinking of, what kind of the development project that you can bring into the country. So it's more challenging, but I hope from the grassroots, from the local and the state level, I don't want to look on the federal this time around, if they can be able to encourage the people that come from the diaspora that specialize on education, healthcare, and so on and so forth, to allow this.
I'm wondering, because you mentioned that some schools are not responsive to the issues or the training you try to bring up to help ensure that people get developed, or pupils, students get developed with regards to this innovation and all of it. But talk to us, what has kept you going? If you are not getting the kind of encouragement that you wanted to see from schools, from every major stakeholder that should buy into your project, for instance, what has kept you going such that you go, you return consistently and ensure that this dream you have does not die?
Number one is that, for us to be safe from this current mess, is that we have to have a meaningful education.
Right.
Okay, we know that the same thing applicable in China, the same thing applicable in India, and so on and so forth. So, and yes, the change for people to accept the good initiative, the good idea, the good concept, it takes time. You have to continue to persuade them that they should be able to see the importance of making a meaningful impact, or making more, assign more budget towards the areas of the education. So, for example, I don't see it as the problem of these pupils or the youth in the university. I say that, okay, it has to do with the government's level, all tiers of government level. So, but I believe the change is possible. Because I've seen historically that there are some countries that they decide to send their their citizens and abroad to acquire more knowledge after they realize, and return to come and develop. So even when some people say that, oh, many Nigerians are going abroad now to go and study, it may be a great thing, but it's going to make a meaningful impact if they can now return back to come and develop their own country. You get it? To come and impart those knowledge, because you have to come and impart that knowledge in your own country, then before you can feel more satisfied, But the orientation has to change, and then, you cannot just quit because that, you are not getting the necessary support. It's frustrating, are you getting? But you keep, so that at least if we can have that legacy, we believe that,
someone will one day pick it up.
One day, and then they will pick it up, yeah.
Now, still talking about how we can harness contributions from the diaspora for national development. You've talked about, yes, they have to create that enabling environment. Let's look at the amount I mentioned earlier, $25 billion in 2018. How can we harness that to develop the country?
First and foremost, I think it is very important for the diaspora to have a status, at least in the state level. What I mean by that is that at least you can't just stay there for the remittance purpose alone. That's why I mentioned the idea of staying there as a piggy bank, that for us to have the free flow of the forest, but to be able to see them as a stakeholder. So having a status means that the diaspora can be able to engage with the state, participate with the state activity, and also make some certain decision. So that, and at the same time too, for the state forum, I'm talking about the state governor forum level, for them to give the diaspora that observer status, let me put it that way.
Really?
So if you have that observer status, are you getting me? Then we can be able to exchange an idea. You can be able to engage them. You can be able to come up with some innovative idea that can be able to move this country forward. Yes, it's a lot of money. In fact, according to the record, I think should be in the second or third position between the India and the Philippines, in terms of the remittance. But for us to take something meaningful project out of it, then you have to engage those
who are bringing
those money. Are you getting me? So that you are not only benefit from them financially, but you are also benefit from them, their idea, their experience. Because we always see all these people, because I'm a member of the Nigerian community in United Kingdom, I play some certain role, but I've seen some of them are career nugget that they always listen to, whether the royal family or the British government engage them, picking them as an advisor. So if the government at the state level give us what we call an observer status, and the governance forum, so that by participating, engaging, come up with some certain suggestion that, why can't we go for this XYZ project? It's going to make a meaningful impact. Why can't we go for this? Because for example, I'm staying in England for over close to 30 years now. So I spent some large better part of my life in that part of the world.
Absolutely.
So I would have seen so many things that I was thinking that, oh my God, I can come back home, we can be able to do this. Because I've seen some city before they refer to it as an inner city, and then they come up with a meaningful project. Where I'm talking about the grassroots project that are changing that particular community. So we can be able to come up with that idea, but it can only happen when you engage them, when you bring them on board, and they have, a say. I'm not talking about they should have the vote power in the government forum, but they should be able to engage. Then we can have a result for these billions of dollars that is trooping in. But at the moment, the reason why there is no result is that we are not engaging them. You are not tapping from their expertise.
Have the community over there, the one you belong to, for instance, have they tried to engage the government or state governments in Nigeria to see if they can come up with a status that you have mentioned, such that we can see developments across the country?
I can say yes, because like I said to you, close to the main body of the Nigerian in diaspora, like the Kanuk and the rest, and part of it, so they've tried so many times. Even when the Nigerian returned to the democracy, part of their mission in 1999 is to have a visit with the president then to say that, why can't we can contribute, we can do this. But they keep promising them, they keep telling them that, okay, don't worry. And even, I know that it's part of the process whereby they have this Diaspora Commission and the rest, but they still need to do more in the sense that to create this observer status, to make us to be more, play some meaningful role, because anytime we're having the meeting with this government official, whether from the federal or from the state, they're always thinking that, we are asking for the voting right, the ability to be able to vote. So, but they want to do more.
But that's part of it, isn't it?
Indeed, of course, that one is very important. We will so gladly to have that one on board. But we've made some effort, but no result yet. Several times they've sent a letter, whether in the UK, in the US, or some other part of the Europe, but it's only the government that they are not ready to accept. But in diaspora, they are ready. In fact, they're coming up with so many ideas. For example, we always have this annual event called Nigerian Diaspora Summit.
Right.
Are you getting me? Like creating an investment opportunity for Nigeria. But we still need the government so that in order to
key in into the vision of all of that. We do hope that perhaps a stakeholder is listening from the part of government and by looking to ensuring that this observer status that you have mentioned is looked into, and we have that bridge where diasporans, if I may use the word, are not seen as just financiers, but also major stakeholders and development partners. Thank you so much, President Hen Foundation, Jamil Eniola, for your time on the program.
Thanks for having me.
Right.